Ralph Straus was a British writer and biographer of Dickens. He was born in 1882 in Manchester, the son of Sidney R. Straus, and was educated at Harrow and Pembroke College, Cambridge. He was the chief fiction reviewer for the Sunday Times from 1928 until his death in 1950. Straus was noted by his friends for his first-class snobbery. According to D.J. Taylor's The New Book of Snobs, a definitive guide to modern snobbery, he is remembered mostly for his work on Dickens, such as Dickens, A Portrait in Pencil from 1928, and Dickens, The Man and Book from 1936. He had also written novels, such as The Unseemly Adventure, a story of a man dominated by his mother who is inspired by a village priest to go and have adventures with a travelling tramp. But among his fiction, he is most remembered today for the story The Most Maddening Story in the World, which is a reimagining of Cleveland Moffat's The Mysterious Card, and deals with a man who cannot speak French, having received a mysterious card written for him by his Belgian friend. And everywhere he shows the card, he is disowned, imprisoned, or stabbed, only there is nothing written on it, even when he had seen the Belgian write it. It was quite maddening, but for the wrong reason. Nevertheless, today we will review his 1907, The Dust Which Is God, an Undimensional Adventure. The novel begins with the researcher Juan Martafax, an orphan and notorious for his antisocial tendencies, at work in the zoological laboratory at the University of Middlesex. He is engaged in a tiny experiment, nothing major, just bringing the dead back to life. He has taken so long his superiors tactfully tell him that if he doesn't succeed in bringing the dead back to life, he should leave and let others use the space. He fails at his desired resurrectioning, as the animal died just when he didn't need it to and thus upset his whole experiment. Going home extremely upset, he is suddenly visited by a stranger interrupting his dinner, somehow getting in without a key. The stranger calls himself Diophantus, and knows everything about his failed experiment already. Just as Martafax gets mad, he is promised to see the true nature of God and is dragged out to a train station. Just as he finds this whole thing the most ludicrous, he is no longer at a train station. He is standing on the rocks of a barren world, upon which shines no fully formed sun, and whose waters lapping the empty rocky shore are immense and dead. Then he sees a greenish dust upon the ground and knows it is alive, and is told by Diophantus that he is in the first world, where life and consciousness are just about to be born. Taken from this empty world, which terrifies Martafax dreadfully, he awakes on the platform. Thinking the whole thing a dream, he buys a newspaper, and yet one notices a change in his manner, becoming more and more social and even courting the friendship and more of a woman, where before he had ignored womankind entirely. He has an interview with the Reverend John Meadows, who hopes his new enthusiasm means he has found God, but the interview leaves him questioning Martafax's sanity. Many months later, Diophantus appears to him again, reveals he is in fact a spirit, then goes on and on about God, love, and evolution, and then takes him to the third world, a place where he has wings, where friction doesn't exist, and where amid empty marble cities a bunch of superior third world beings mind talk at him, a lot of extremely vague stuff about unity, oneness, and such. Nothing specific, just a lot of vague aspirational waffle, for which Martafax honours them immensely. Then he goes back, writes a book, and becomes famous. The first journey into a world whose very emptiness terrifies Martafax to his core is full of promise, but the second trip is a lot of high-spirited nothing blasted at the reader, while assuming it is being deep and prophetic.